They're giggling in the background. They're giggling in the background. Welcome back to part two. I've got two of the gloats here. They haven't been gloating much, but they've got every right to. The greatest ladies of all time, Kelly Fisher and Ali Fisher M.B.E. Don't forget the member of the British Empire. So, ladies, coming up, Las Vegas, it's the big one. It's the expo. There's so much going on in Vegas, and I know, Kelly, it's one of your favorite events. And Ali, well, I'm dead scared about your mum being there again because she's on that scooter again, isn't she?
Oh, she's dangerous on that scooter, as Kelly knows. Kelly had fun with her last year on it, didn't you?
Oh, I did. We only crashed it together about, I don't know, 4 times. It was good fun. Best week ever.
Yeah.
And you need one of them scooters there, don't you? I mean, I need one now, I think, because it takes you about 20 minutes to get from your room to get to the actual venue, right? But let's get back to a little bit of seriousness, of course. It is business at the end of the day. And we've got the women's Las Vegas, the Alpha Women's Las Vegas tournament going on. I guess you ladies are practicing your 10 ball now. Last time I saw you was at the 9 ball, of course, in Atlantic City. Ali got to the final of that, actually, didn't you, Ali?
Yes, I did. Yeah, it was like a little fairy tale.
It might be. She did great.
Flooding back.
It might be a good time to mention, actually. We talked about the golden break ladies, the golden ball, of course, is the 9 ball. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't mention. I mean, Kelly, let's start with yours because I think you set the precedent. I think it's your fault. Tell us about the 9 ball.
What 9 ball?
Huh?
I forgot it already.
Oh.
No, yes, the 9 ball. Well, I mean, what can I say? I dogged it. I just changed my mind. I was going to stun it in round the angles. And I kind of thought to myself, I could just play top, you know. And that was as kind of as I was going down on the shot or as I was down on the shot. I'm not quite sure. And you can see, I've watched it a few times. You can see that the tip goes higher on the cue ball a little bit as I'm feathering. So I've clearly not been decisive and just completely, I still can't believe it. So yeah, completely dogged it. So yeah, thanks for that.
Nice and honest. No, but of course, you know, your fans want to know and they want to pick up any little tip they can from it. So
never change your mind. Never change your mind. You've got to be decisive. And that's something that I really can't stress enough, and something that I'm normally quite good at. You know, I'm however quick I play, it's because I make a decision and I don't really second guess it. And that's very important. The minute you've got that second guess or a question, you've got to get back up. So we can keep on learning all these years later, huh?
It's amazing.
However,
isn't it?
It's not always easy to do when you've got the shot clock and you don't have an extension. Sometimes you are kind of down there and you're like, ooh, and you have to pull the trigger.
Yes, correct. But this time I can't even make that excuse, Ali, because I called the extension. I did.
You played such a great bank on that 8 ball right before that. You just got up there, instead of cutting it, you just banked it straight in. It was amazing. I thought that was a really good bank, like at a soft speed.
Again, I made a decision and I went for it 100%. You know, and on the 9 ball, like I normally do any other time I've potted a 9 ball to win, whether it's hill or whether it's, I don't know, you know, 8-6 race to 9. I just do my pre-shot routine. I look at the shot, make a decision, and I walk into the shot and get down. And I thought I'd done everything just to that in my own rhythm. I took the extension just because it was there, and I didn't even need it, and I didn't think I never even thought about it. The thing is that I remember that thought coming into my head. I made a decision. I'm playing it, stunning it around the angles, confident. I felt good, and I remember that decision. As I'm getting down to the shot, thinking, oh, I could just play top it. You know, why stun it? And as I've got down, clearly that's come back. Yeah.
That's it. That is so interesting what you just mentioned there, though, that you took your extension when you didn't really need it. Now, I believe Josh Filler was the first guy that started to do that. I'm probably wrong, but I always remember as soon as he gets on the 9-ball, he just calls extension to give himself that little bit of extra breathing.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, Kelly, if you hadn't have taken your extension, would you have just gotten along and played the shot and you wouldn't have had time to change your mind, maybe?
No, that's what I was saying, Mark. I took the extension just because it was there in case you have to get back up or anything like that. You just don't want to think about it. But what I was saying was, I've watched it and I took no extra seconds longer. I made my decision. I got down and I second guessed it whilst down or just getting down or both. Okay. I should have got back up because I had that extension, but because I normally make the decision, get down and, I should have got back up, but I didn't. It was an easy 9. I didn't think I could miss it. Maybe I don't know. All I know is that I'd made the decision. I got down like any other shot, like it was 7-0, 8-0 to me, whatever. I didn't feel nervous. I mean, when I say I dogged it because I changed my mind, and I wouldn't say it was nerves as such. And I've tried to relive it to try and take it apart and learn from it. And only thing I can really say is that I thought my pre-shot routine was normal. I remember feeling quite normal, and I just changed my mind. And that's something that I know you can't do and shouldn't do. You need to get back up. So there's no excuse because I did have enough time. And that's for everybody out there. That's certainly a lesson learned from me, even though I already knew it. Just something that will stick with me for quite a while now.
Yeah, it just shows you, no matter what your experience is, and I'm not saying it is this as well, but it can be the moment. I know maybe in that situation it wasn't, but it can be.
100%. It could have been as well, It certainly could have been for sure. I mean, it's hill. Going to the semi-final of the World Championships, So of course,
I think you've suffered.
I did dog it either way.
You did dog it, but you've suffered enough for that miss. It's Ali's turn. Ali,
thanks.
Was it Kelly's fault?
Yeah, I wish I'd never watched Kelly miss that, because I didn't watch the rerun, right, of what happened to Kelly, because I'd heard she'd missed the 9. I thought, there's no way, like what happened. I watched her make the 8, and I'm watching it on video, and I'm thinking. And then I watched her miss the 9, and then we talked about it later, and we thought, well, maybe you could have topped it or whatever. Stunning it can be, if you're a little tense or tight.
Yeah.
You can tighten up and hit it a little thick or whatever. So I'm down, I'm playing in the final, and sure enough, the shot comes up. Now I've landed a bit closer to the rail than in my mind I'd wanted to. And I get down on the shot and I'm going to punch it in, right? And then I think about Kelly missing her shot, punching it in. So I think, no, I'll high ball it, and I miss the 9.
See, it's like a disease.
It's unbelievable. I'm like, what a
contagious.
You know what?
Yeah, contagious. Oh, dear. It's easy done.
Yeah, and it just crossed my mind. Oh, Kelly missed it this way. I'm going to do it that way. I'd already.
Was it to go 1-1, Ali? Was it to go 1-1?
Yeah, that was to go 1-1 and get the break back. Win a break. So it's a big deal. But to be honest with you, right before that, 2 shots before that shot down the rail, I should have topped it with a bit of inside English and landed underneath the 8 instead of above the 8. So I made a poor decision right there that got me in the position I was in. But nevertheless, I shouldn't have missed that ball. I love
the way you ladies and all the guys as well. You just remember every shot. I think it's amazing. I mean, I'm in the booth and I can hardly remember the last.
Well, what you remember, Mark, is what cost you.
Yeah,
I was going to say that.
You remember the negatives. You remember what cost you the match. I remember back to 1995 and 96 shots that cost me matches.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it.
Because they hurt.
Yeah. That's right. If you didn't care, it does hurt and it sticks with you. Right. I had nightmares for 2 days with that 9-ball.
Oh, I bet. It's horrible reliving stuff, isn't it?
It was different. It wasn't just a nightmare of missing a 9. It was weird stuff, but all like I blame the 9-ball for my weird dreams after that for a few days for sure.
Right. Yeah. Right. Here's a pact between us 3 now, okay? We will never talk about that 9-ball again. It's in the past. We're now going on to this new tournament in Vegas, and we have a new format, ladies.
Yes.
Can I just say one thing, Mark?
Yeah. Yes.
Thank God the next event's 10 ball. I've no need to think about them.
That's right.
Oh dear.
So
Continue.
So you're obviously now switched from 9 ball. You're now focusing on 10 ball, and the
Thank
10 ball break is. I know you've been working really hard, Kelly, on your 9 ball break before that Atlantic City, and it really did show. I mean, I thought you broke best out of anyone apart from Chow in the final against you, Ali. She broke really well as well, unfortunately for you.
Yeah.
But just going forward, so what's your preparation now? How is your days shaping? How are your days shaping up? How much practice are you putting in?
Me? Or both?
Both of
Me?
you.
Well, I'm basically, I've been on vacation. I've come back, and I'm putting in a few hours a day on my own. So I'm working on my break, 10 ball break. I always spend a little time on that. It's very important to do so. I already feel that my break technique is there, so I just need to, get that cue ball controlled from 9 ball to 10 ball. I've practiced many 9 balls off the. I've done quite a few of them, but nothing crazy. To be honest, I've been doing a lot of the spot shots. I think that's a good thing. What we all need to really work on, because a lot of games can go to the shootout. So I've been doing a lot of shootout shots and sudden death, and then just really trying to get my time in. Like you were saying earlier about Allison's stroke, 100%. Her mechanics are fantastic, and I really, it's something that I've never mastered. I've got a good technique, but it's something that I've always got, a little bit of a quick technique that creeps in. So I'm always, forever, 32 years, been working on that. And I always have to really maintain that throughout my practice. I work with Lionel, as you know. So, and then it's just a matter of, feeling match ready, really. There's match ready and match fit, and that's all we can do is in the time off, get match ready and, take the experience from the matches to get match fit and try and put them together to come through to win tournaments.
Yeah, you mentioned the shootout there, and one of the there's a couple of reasons I think that the format has been tweaked slightly, and one was because we saw from the first couple of years that it was, or for the first year, that it was like 33 to 40% of matches were going to shootout, but then in the second year it was even more. And it kind of lost a little bit of its uniqueness. Before it was all, there's a shootout going on. Now they were becoming a little bit more frequent, shall we say, and not quite so special, although they still were special and still was nerve-wracking for the players. But this new thing now, where in the second stage, where we go to a third set, if we go one set all, do you think that's a better way of doing it?
I do. I think the shootout is pretty brutal, really. I mean, I know Kelly's been on the right side of many of those and some great ones. It's exciting, I think, for an audience, but it's very tough for the players, to come down to one shot.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, we need more of the top players playing in these events, and we don't want something like, saying,
well, and I think
not for me.
I think not necessarily for the women, but I think for the men, a lot of men don't go and play in those events because it's such a it's like a toss of the coin, isn't it, as to who can win. Not always the best player wins, and I think that's sort of not appealing to a lot of them. So I think you're seeing that. So a lot of guys are missing from that. What do you think, Kelly?
Well, I think that the shootout, whichever format is a fantastic idea. I've always raved about the fact that we've tried everything in 9 ball and 10 ball and in American pool to spur, to excel the sport to the next level, where we can look at getting so much viewership that we can get outside industry sponsors. And I thought and think that the shootout is one thing that will and does attract a lot more viewers. It's exciting, like you said, Ali, and that could, propel us to get more viewers, to a point, I feel that we could potentially grow it big enough to get outside industry sponsors such as Coca-Cola or whoever. However, after noticing, especially with the men, but even with the women too, that I'm noticing there's quite a lot, probably too many shootouts happening. Then, like you say, it takes away the excitement a little bit, because it's a bit. I mean, I looked around the room at one event, and I mean, most tables were a shootout, and it's kind of okay. So I'm thinking that this is a good thing to try for sure. I think this could solve that problem, and I think it's a great idea. Still keeping the shootout there, nobody can complain then. Basically, we're having 2 sets. If it goes 1-1, another set. If it goes 3-3, then it deserves a shootout.
Yeah, definitely. I'm in agreement with that. But it's a very interesting mindset, isn't it? When you win that first set, it's strange, isn't it? Because you're definitely going into a shootout minimum, but I think it actually affects you more. And I've found that I'm actually better from behind if I've lost the first set and I win the second set. The momentum's with me, so it's a very interesting mindset, I think.
Completely, it really does gives you an experience that we've not really had before, because like you say, knowing that feeling of winning the first set compared to the feeling when you're down 1 set, let alone when you win that second set going into the shootout, as opposed to losing the second set going into the shootout. So I think it's challenged players in many different aspects as well, mentally, and I think it's been a great idea, and I really hope that this solves the problem. Being, when I say problem, it's not a problem, but it was a little bit unfair for the players. It was cutthroat for the players, bit of a toss of a coin, just so short. So hopefully that solves that problem, and we still have some really exciting shootouts, which I'm sure we will, and creates everything I said for the spectator and the viewers, and keeps the numbers growing of viewers, which is what we need.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that it's done its job. I mean, it's got, there's so many more events, new events being added all the time now, and playing for some big money as well. I think it's done a lot for the sport, and I think the tweak is right. And players like, and I just want to bring up Darren Appleton actually, because he's just done his first interview since his cardiac arrest earlier on. And I mean, I just want to say he looked absolutely fantastic. The reason I'm mentioning him, he was a big advocate of pushing players to, and we all know Darren, right? And he's a strong Yorkshireman, and a lot of what he says is right, and he's done a lot of good for the game over the years. And he was a big pusher for, change the format, just change it, and we'll all come and play in all of them, And so I just want to ask you ladies a question. I mean, I don't know if you did you see Darren on the interview?
I haven't watched it, no.
No, I've not watched it yet, no.
Well, I just want to put your minds at rest. I mean, I know you're probably in contact with him anyway, Kelly. I know you're very, very close to him. You played on the same team with him in Austria, didn't you? And you've been close for years. I mean, he's looking great. He's sounding positive and can't wait to get back. He's looking at going to Philadelphia in April, I think he said, for the Super Billiard Expo. So he wants to get back playing. But he said something in his interview which was really interesting, when he said he wants to be Mosconi captain. I mean, people have been talking about him, but now he's actually come out and said, I want to be Mosconi Cup captain. Do you girls think he will be a good Mosconi Cup captain?
Oh, that's very interesting. I think he actually would be now you've mentioned it, because he was a big part of the team for many years. You could see in the background how he would really push the players. He was so behind everyone. So I think he'd be very motivational, and I think the players, would listen. I think he'd be great for the team.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, after the experience, I've partnered with Darren, and it's very intense. Maybe as a partnership, a bit too intense in some respects, because it depends what kind of player you are. But it's so intense, and such drive and will to win. Competitive is unbelievable. But I played with him on the team, and honestly, you couldn't ask for anybody that's like, come on, pushing you all the way. Whatever the score is, whether you're up, whether you're down, whatever, is right in your corner and is pushing you all the way. So I think that definitely, I think he'd be an asset and be a great Mosconi team manager.
Yeah, totally agree with you, ladies, on that. And that begs another question. I mean, Ali, I know you've represented Europe in Mosconi before, wasn't it? Back in 90 something?
1994, the very first Mosconi.
The very first one. Now, I mean, as you know, I'm a huge advocate of the women's game. I think it's great. I think you're a great bunch of ladies around the venues. We always have a great laugh. We go out for drinks afterwards. You come and join us in the booth. Both of you have done it before. Jasmine has. Christina Zlatova comes in. Dawn Hopkins has been in as well. And you really are a fantastic group of ladies. And I honestly think that they should take the #1 lady from Europe and the #1 lady from the States every year for Mosconi and put one lady in each side. How do you feel about that? Is it something that you think will happen, should happen, could happen?
I think the ladies could have their own Mosconi Cup or whatever cup it becomes, for sure. And I think that would still be very interesting. I've heard a lot of people request that, but there's so much testosterone out there during that Mosconi Cup. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I don't know. What do you think, Kelly?
You've played in one, though.
I think
how was it when you played in it?
Yeah, but it was years ago. It's right at the beginning. It was 2 women on each team. So I think Jeanette and Vivian and myself and Franziska Stark from Germany. And I didn't even know how to play 9-ball. So I was going in completely useless, really. I mean, I made balls, but I didn't know what I was doing. So I can't really gauge that. And, you know, if I did it now, I would know the difference of the feeling. I didn't even know that was, you know, what it would become. You know, it was just Barry Hearn creating something, and half of the team was snooker players and half were pool players versus American men pool players and women pool players. So they knew what they were doing and half of us didn't. So it was a different feeling and different scenario.
What's your thoughts, Kelly?
I think it would be awesome, of course. I think it'd be great, a great asset to the Mosconi Cup. Or should I say, you know, it's been every year a long time now, and I mean the numbers are great as far as how many viewers come in. I mean, look at that packed audience this year and the end of last year and the year before the Ali Pal. It's unbelievable to have a woman in there on each team. I mean, I think that that would certainly create some excitement too. A lot of people have requested it. However, I do agree with Ali. I think we could have our own. We once did in the Philippines have a Queen's Cup. And that was really interesting. It was good fun, wasn't it, Ali? It was Asia.
I loved it. It was what it was an East versus West. So that's something to think about. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right, we've got about 8 minutes left because I'm a skinflint. I haven't got Zoom Premium, as I mentioned at the end of the first. So let's get to some viewers' questions, if you don't mind. I mean, I could go on for hours and hours with you two because it's just always so much fun. But a question for you both: if you weren't a pool player, this is from Steph. If you weren't pool players, what do you think you might have been? What are you good at apart from pool?
Well, if I had a dream voice, I'd be a singer, but I don't.
Me too. Me too. Me and Ali would be Adele. You bugger. Unbelievable. We want to be Adele.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
But we can't sing.
But we can't sing.
That's all right. You don't have to these days. There's all sorts of things that
that's true. That's true. But that would be sort of what our wish would be if we weren't pool players.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
100%.
Jay Garrison asks, what part of Kelly's game would Ali want, and what part of Ali's game would Kelly want?
I would want Kelly's head sometimes. I think, you know, just the way she is in her decision making and stuff.
I would want Ali's stroke, right arm specifically.
Yeah. You know, I've told you enough. If I could mix you two together, we'd have the perfect
We could get that DNA mix.
Player. Oh.
I know we'd be unbeatable, Ali.
That's right. That's right.
You got the same surname.
Yeah, we're off to a good start.
So close. Okay.
We need to be Wurzel Gummidge.
I thought you were saying I look like Wurzel Gummidge.
There you go.
There you go. You have that, and I'll have that.
Yeah, put the different heads on, right? Who's going to be Aunt Sally?
Thanks.
Who's Way? Is it Way going to be Aunt Sally? Me?
Yeah, you can be Aunt Sally.
Okay, another question. Diane Vaughan asks, I know you two are close, but how does it feel when you have to play against each other?
Well, I think we're very competitive. I mean, at the end of the day, we both want to win. We're very, very good friends, and we put that aside. And, you know, we're always going to be friends away from the table. But the table, you know, we want to beat each other.
That's right. I think the minute we shake hands, you know, and we've done the lag and we shake hands, good match. That's it. You switch off to whoever you're playing until the very end. And then after it, like I said, we give each other a hug and congratulate whoever won. So, yeah.
Perfect. Now, I don't know whether you know this name, Carly McGee.
Carly, who are me lovely?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Hey, Carly, that was my #1 fan.
She's your #1 fan.
That poor lady, what she went through for Atlantic City to come see.
What a shame.
It was awful.
It must be awful. I know. What a shame.
But she's
sorry, Carly.
She's a super trooper.
At least she didn't pick up the wrong suitcase and pay $454 for a taxi, though.
I wonder who did that.
No.
Anyway, moving on. So she asks, you two partnered in the World Cup of Pool in 2021. Would you consider partnering again? Would you choose each other as partners?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think, honestly, if we'd had a little bit of an easier match, I think we could have totally got into the swing of that. You know, if we played together a bit more, if we lived close by, we'd be totally in sync. I think we'd make a really good team.
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%.
I'm in the UK, I was in America, and we basically didn't get a chance to have any time together. We played in the event, and we had a tough match, the Philippines. If we'd have just got one match under our belt, we'd have got.
I'll tell you what, Kelly, if we had England C's draw, we would have been good to go.
We'd have got all the way through. We would have, darling.
All the way through to the final.
We would have. We would, like they did.
Tone LeBlanc, what a great name that is. Tone LeBlanc says, would either of you two have any interest in picking up your snooker cues again? No.
well, I'm in the UK, so I've got a snooker club, and I've been playing some snooker, and I must say I really do enjoy it. But you know, I enjoy the break building, I enjoy getting in amongst the balls, but the safety play and stuff like that, I couldn't play it full time. I don't switch my cue to a snooker cue because I don't want to mess with the cue thing in my head and everything. But I really enjoy a game of snooker. Could I go back to playing it? No. I mean, I love the excitement of 9-ball, 10-ball. I love the challenging side of that too. And I've still got, you know, a lot more goals in that discipline. So no, I couldn't go back. That's me, but I do enjoy it.
Yeah, and I love to watch it. Believe me, I still follow it. I love snooker, but I don't have access to tables here, and I don't think, if I'm not playing it well, I probably don't want to play it.
Yeah.
So I came up with this thing where I'd love to see you ladies play 9-ball or 10-ball, whichever you chose, and a snooker challenge, and we'd love to get that going in Corner Bank in Jim White's place. What do you reckon to that? Would you two girls, if we could arrange something, would you be up for that, for like a snooker challenge, a race to 10 and a race to 25, 9-ball or 10-ball?
Maybe we could have that discussion in Las Vegas, Mark.
Indeed. Let's do that. Let's make a plan if we can.
And why don't we try? Yeah, because Jim will be there as well, actually. So why don't we try and get a post Vegas interview and see, or maybe halfway through or something like that. Hopefully you're both still in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've literally got just over a minute left. Ali, you're an MBE.
It's like
Stop the
countdown.
first.
Boom.
So, Ali,
Yeah.
shout out to your sponsors. I know you just got a new one in your pool room. Quickly, just
Congrats.
Thank you to Playcraft, thank you Jam Up, and thank you to Break Time Billiards and Sports Bar. Appreciate it.
Kelly.
Yep, thank you to Predator, thank you to Jingsway Tables, thank you to In the Zone Sportswear. Again, really do appreciate it. We couldn't do it without you guys.
Thank you so much. You're the only people I want to thank. Well, I might as well thank Predator as well, of course, because apparently I'm a bit of an influencer now. That's a nice title. They thought the guy,
Ali, and we'd like to
can't
thank
play.
Mark White.
And we'd love to thank Mark the Influencer White.
Indeed. Indeed.
And I must mention Jam Up Apparel as well, of course. Grant, Zemp and Steph, they put me up when I was in Calgary. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing them. CSI, of course, who put on this great expo. And Town Chalk, who, in my opinion, make the best chalk. I'll leave you, everyone, to fight over what you think the best chalk is. Go out and try everything. That's the main thing, right? Have fun, everyone. Can't wait to see you ladies in Vegas. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, you're welcome.
I've actually been really nervous for the past week